Oh, we on. Oh,
Khan,
Shalom.
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 So we're back on, and we're going to be looking at 1 Corinthians 13. Hold on, let me put my phone on vibrate. We're going to be looking at 1 Corinthians 13, and then we're going to be looking at the book of Clementine, chapter 13. Is it chapter 13?
Verse 13.
Chapter 13 through 19, talking about chastity and charity. So I'm going to go off screen for a minute, take care of something, and my Akwathian are going to start. And remember, this is a discussion for Akwathian, not men. If you are a man and you're tuning in, please direct all inquiries to Kratazaya, aka Isaiah Yasharahla on Facebook, StreamYard, YouTube, WhatsApp. Phone number 614-999-2677. So we're going to start with 1 Corinthians 13.
We're doing the whole chapter, or just is 13? Or am I reading the whole chapter?
1 Corinthians, you just want to read
It might be feasible to read the whole chapter. I'm gonna read the whole chapter.
That's fine. The basis is we want to talk about, where it says love is this, love is that, love is this. Because that's what we're talking about. Chastity.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna go off.
Trying to get this thing up.
Huh?
I'm trying to get. I lost it. Now I'm trying to pull it up so I can read it. Okay. Go back. Because it's on Facebook Messenger, so it's a long. Wait. That is too long. It's Peter chapter 13. It's way up there. So you when we start reading this first?
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
Okay. That same evening, we all enjoyed the benefits of Peter's instruction, taken occasion by what had happened to our mother. He showed us how the results of chastity are good, while those of adultery are destroyed, and naturally bring destruction on the whole race, if not speedily, at all events slowly. And to such an extent, he says to these of chastity, please, Yahweh, that in this life he bestows some small favor on account of it, even on those who are in error. For salvation in the other world is granted only to those who have been baptized on account of their trust in him, and who act chastely and righteously. This ye yourselves have seen in the case of your mother, that the results of chastity are in the end good. For perhaps she would have been cut off if she had committed adultery. But Yahweh took pity on her, having behaved chastely, rescued her from the death that threatened her, and restored to her lost children. Chapter 14.
So wives, be faithful to your husbands.
Kind. But also, I looked up the word. We looked up the word chastity and charity.
I have one for chastity. Well, I have several words. Chastity is a plethora of words. Abstaining from extramarital or from all sexual intercourse. A virgin, someone that's intact, someone that and someone intact means a virgin, someone who has not had any sexual contact with anyone. Maidenly, platonic, non-sexual, simple or restrained, celibate, pure in thought and actions. So all of these things.
I'm on live. See, a lot of them came in, of course. Y'all be quiet. I'm on live.
So a chaste woman or a man is someone who restrains herself from sexual contact.
I'm on live. I'm saying. I'm on live. I'm on live. Go ahead. Somebody fell. It fell on you?
Yeah.
What other one?
Mama, you wear your new glasses?
Okay, well, lock everyone. A lot of don't know how to act when you come in the door.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Go that way.
I'll breathe anyway.
Okay, all right. So I have wholesomeness, celibacy, chasteness, virginity, self-restraint, self-denial, singleness, goodness, virtue, maidenhood, the unmarried state. So that's what I got out of chastity. And I also had a story to go with this too. As a widow woman, a woman that was widow. Her name was Ann, and she I'm froze on here, like I'm froze. And it's about Yahweh firstborn. Her husband had passed away, and she waited for Yahweh to come to the. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Really? Oh, everything froze on my end. And actually, in Luke 2:34-38. And we can read it later on, but that's another form of chastity. Her husband had passed away when she was young, and she stayed a widow and stayed in the temple for many, many years. But we can read that later though. But it's only 4 verses in that one. Back to Clementine, chapter 14. Peter's speech continued, but someone will say, how many have perished on account of chastity? Yes, but it was because they did not perceive the danger. For the woman who perceives that she is in love with anyone or is beloved by anyone should immediately shun all associated with him. Or as she would shun a blazing fire or a mad dog. And this is exactly what your mother did. So pretty much what he's saying is,
yeah, you're not supposed to be entertaining other men.
Well, she did. Yeah, she stayed chaste. After years, she stayed chaste. She didn't let nobody be in. No, she was in love with no one, and she gave nobody a chance to be in love with her because, of course, of a form of fornication. Because she didn't do anything. She stayed chaste. Yes, but it was because they did not perceive the danger. For a woman who perceives that she is in love with anyone or is beloved by anyone, she should immediately shun all associates with him. Get rid of all associates, don't be around him at all. As she would shun a blazing fire or a mad dog. So same thing. If a blazing fire is coming after you, you shun them all. Like you try to get away from the fire, but as fast as you can. That's what you go do with a strange man come towards you. Hey, baby, how you doing? You gotta run as fast as you can. Like a dog trying to come at you with his mouth all open. All he got teeth and he's got drool coming outside of his mouth. You run the heck out of it. The same way you do.
There's a face that every woman has, though. There's a face that every woman has that she makes when she doesn't want to be bothered, especially by a man.
But some men don't care about that face. People are like, I love that face.
I'm cool.
No, I don't say no. I just don't answer them. I don't imply anything.
It's about you and what you give off also as a person. You know, people, if somebody feels like they could come at you like that, that means you're giving those vibes off. So, don't. Oh, okay. So I'm on here by myself. So giving off those types of vibes, entertaining, people coming at you, other men coming at you, is showing that you're not, being a chaste woman. So I don't know what's going on. Mouth just disappeared.
You're not alone. I just came back up.
Oh, there she is.
Okay. Just disappeared. You're not alone. I just came back.
Oh, there she is.
Okay.
I got kicked off. The alarm just came in and freezing at the doorway. I don't know what just happened. So no, I was saying that not every man takes that face as, oh sure, I'm scared because you made that face. I'm telling you, some men love that.
That's what I was saying though. It's your energy too. Like, you know, it's all about what you, how you are. You know, I don't accept things like that. My whole energy, my whole presence is a presence in itself. So if I come into a room and someone feels like, first of all, they're gonna feel like they need to respect me because I respect myself and I got that air about me. Then second of all, you know, if you have a conversation with someone, they're not going to, I don't know. That's just, maybe I'm just speaking for myself. They're not going to cross certain lines because they can feel that energy. I'm not entertaining anything with anyone. And if you're not my husband, then, you know, and you're not just somebody friendly and, you know, you're having a friendly conversation. Sometimes people take you being kind and nice for, you know, you flirting, and that's not what it is. But like I said, it's all about your energy.
Tom, but it should be, I mean, you don't have to give anything if nobody's in the same room. I feel like when you go to a grocery store and if anybody physically touch you, try to get attention, and I'd got a problem.
Oh, no, yeah, that's a problem. Don't touch me.
Yeah, just half the time, like, men are just try to be them dogs or the mad dogs or the blazing fire. Those you got to be running. That's as if they was one of them. Like, and that's how you get away from them and try to run.
It happens with men too, though. I see women do it too, and it's like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all about, I don't know. I guess I can only speak for myself, but it's just all about who you are and what type of person you are and what type of person you want to be. If you want to grow, if you want to be that woman who is faithful to her man and, you know, doing the things that she's supposed to do, then, you know, you're gonna have that problem. If you don't want to be that person, then you're gonna do, you know, other things that aren't righteous.
Well, I don't know why do you choose that conversation with me while I'm
I don't know. Weird things happen. People are weird, man.
No, they are. Okay. So we know that she did absolutely, she stayed herself celibacy. She was chaste. She didn't talk to any other men. She stayed pretty much celibate. So now we at, okay, back to, she immediately shut all association with him as she would shut a blazing fire or a mad dog. And this is exactly what your mother did, for she really loved chastity, for as blessed. Wherefore she was preserved, and along with you obtained the full knowledge of everlasting kingdom. The woman who wishes to be chased out to know that she is imbibed by wickedness, and that because of love, many lie in wait for her. If then she remain holy through steadfast persistence in chastity, she will gain the victory over all temptation and be saved, whereas even if she were to do all that is right, and yet should once commit the sin of adultery, she must be punished, as said the prophet. So everybody knows the punishment of adultery, right? Death. So
I was about to say, yeah, death.
Death. You are just dead. Chapter 15, Peter's speech continued. The chaste wife doing the will of Yahweh is a good mention of his first creation. For Yahweh being one, created one woman for one man. She is also still more chaste if she does not forget her own creation and has future punishment before her eyes and is not ignorant of loss of internal blessings. The chaste woman takes pleasure in those who wish to be saved and is example to the pious, for she is the model of good life. She who wishes to be chaste cuts off all occasion for slander. Now, this is the mother. This is Peter Faber, who's just coming in. This is Peter. We in Clementine, and we're reading about Peter talking about this lovely woman, mother, who is chaste. She has saved herself. She has not touched anybody. Nobody came near her. She just kept herself separate. So this is Peter giving her all these praises, saying she is like the model of good life. She who wishes to be chaste cuts off all occasion for slander. But if she be slandered as by any enemy, through affording him to pretext, she is blessed and avenged by Yahweh. The chaste woman longs for Allahayka, loves Allahayka, please Allahayka, glorifies Allahayka, and to men she affords no occasion for slander. The chaste woman perfumes the church with good reputation and glorifies it by her pity. She is moreover the praises of her teachers and a helper to them in her chastity. Anybody have anything else to say? I mean, we still got more. 16. I gotta go to chapter 16. So anything else? Huh?
Then we go on to chapter 19.
Oh, it's chapter 19?
Con. So what I get from that is, being a chaste woman, first of all, starts with fearing Yahweh. Because if you don't fear Yahweh, it's really not going to matter if you're chaste or not, because eventually you're going to veer off and you're going to do, your own thing. So when you fear Yahweh, you tend to do all these things where it says,
if you don't fear Yahweh, you don't fear your husband.
She longs for Yahweh. She loves Yahweh. She pleases Yahweh. She glorifies Yahweh. So, that all starts with fearing Yahweh first. And yeah, Khan, if you fear Yahweh, you are most definitely going to fall in line with being a good rib to your husband. Fearing Yahweh puts in you all of the things that you need to do to be a good rib. So it sets you up to be that P31 for not only your husband, but for your children and other people, other sisters and other family members and whatnot.
They respected it, because in his language she was respected. So nobody slandered her, There was no reason for slander, because she did exactly what she had to do. Besides, she did what, actually, pretty much she stayed to herself when she did nothing, actually. She just stayed, doing what she had to do as a woman. Ross, you want to finish reading that? To Peter 16?
Con, 16. The chaste woman is adorned with the son of Yahweh as with a bridegroom. She is clothed with holy light. Her beauty lies in a well-regulated soul, and she is fragrant with ointment, even with a good reputation. She is arrayed in beautiful vesture, even in modesty. She wears her precious pearls, even chaste words, and she is radiant. For her mind has been brilliant. I can't even say it.
Brilliantly.
Lightened up. Some words don't roll off my tongue, right? Onto a beautiful mirror does she look, for she looks into Yahweh. Beautiful cosmetics does she use, namely the fear of Yahweh, with which she admonishes her soul. Beautiful is the woman, not because she has chains of gold on her, but because she has been set free from the transient lust. The chaste woman is greatly desired by the great king. She has been wooed, watched, and loved by him. The chaste woman does not furnish occasions for being desired, except by her own husband. The chaste woman is grieved when she is desired by another. The chaste woman loves her husband from the heart, embraces, soothes, and pleases him, acts the slave to him, and is obedient to him in all things, except when she would be disobedient to Yahweh. For she who obeys Yahweh is without the aid of watchmen, chaste soul and pure in body. So it's like this, the chaste woman is just outstanding.
Pretty outstanding, she is.
Right. Like, I mean, and then it comes down to the chaste woman in her head. You know, the chaste woman is, like it says, she's going to love him with all her heart. Like we know in Genesis, it says, we are supposed to desire him. The chaste woman is grieved when she's desired by another. So, like, to me, that just means, like, first of all, I don't ever get into a situation where I would know if someone was even trying to look at me or come at me in a certain type of way, because I don't set myself up for those type of situations, being in, you know, having a head. So that's first of all. But so to me, that would just mean, you know, like you'd be like, if you were in that situation, you'd be like, nah, I'm good. Like, you're not even supposed to be looking at me.
There's that face. See that face? Come on. She made that face like, nah. That's that face. Like, I'm cool. Yeah, that's that one face like, you disgust me. No.
Yeah.
Some of them don't care about that. Some of them don't care about the disgusted face. I'm telling you, they be like, "Oh, don't make that face. Smile, smile." I mean,
well, yeah. When you hear my next words,
like you got a head, but are you happy? Are you happy?
Yeah. Those people.
And that's something that would upset me. That would make me mad.
Yeah. But you know in yourself that you are chaste, that you have this charity for your husband, that you know you have the charity for Yahweh. So as I said, that's a walk away thing to just walk away.
That would upset me if somebody said something like that.
Somebody either touch you or physically touch you or punch you in the face. That's when it comes down to something else. But you can just physically walk away from anybody.
That's not a good idea.
So again, that chaste woman, you guys went over the definition of chaste and chastity, right?
Yeah, we didn't do chastity.
Do you have one?
We didn't do charity. We just did.
Chaste is just like, well, the definition that I have found says refraining from sexual intercourse that is regarded as contrary to morality or religion, virtuous. So, this baby gonna wake up. We don't want him to wake up.
We never ended.
It's been a long day. So the chaste woman also, she loves her husband with all her heart. She embraces him in good and bad. She soothes him. She pleases him. Acts the slave to him. I don't really like the word slave, but that's what he wrote. But of course, when you are a rib, you are going to make sure he has all he needs. I just don't like that word slave. I don't know about y'all, but
I really don't got a problem with the slave part as long as I'm not treated like that or spoken to like that. But I have no problem being a slave.
There's different forms of slavery. I mean, our mentality, our slave, we thinking slave is like whooping them, you know, like being extra mean. And slave, according to the Bible, you're supposed to be nice to your slave. You're supposed to be sweet to your slave. So
this says acts a slave to him. So to me, that means you're doing everything that he tells you to do, everything that he needs, which we do that we're gonna do that anyway. I just don't like the word slave. That's just my
I understand.
Opinion. I'm just saying I don't
have a problem with it, but yeah, I understand. I just don't want to be spoken to like a slave or treated like one.
No, the word slave sounds demeaning.
Right. And Isaiah Yasharahla, I'm reading your message. It says slave is good. Khan, we know that it's good. I'm just saying that I prefer a different word. Like just like obedient is enough.
Yeah.
I don't even like servant, but obedient.
I don't know you said it.
So Khan, Isaiah says that we are slaves to Yahweh Shai. Khan, I'm just saying, you want to start a big old, it's just the word to me.
Servant debate. Well, I have a scripture I want to read about this because I read this young lady named Anne. I mean, I just love her. It is a couple of ladies that was widowed that actually stayed set apart. She was a widow at a young age, and she stayed herself so she was chaste. That was the definition of chaste. I mean, she did not have sex for 3 scores. Was that 30? It's 3 scores 60, right? Last one? 1 score is 20, right? So she had sex in 6. Wait, hold on, let me just Luke. In 60 years, she had sex. So she was a widow from a young age, and she did not touch herself. She did anything. And I think that was excellent. Not a lot of females, not a lot of people could do that. She stayed in the temple and waited for Yahweh Shai to come to be born and be baptized there. So it's verse 2. Luke chapter 2, 24 chapter 34. The definition of a chaste woman. Okay. Luke, I think, you know what? I might have to. I think I wrote the wrong one down. So I was reading it earlier, and I said, I want to get it because that was the one I was looking for. I'm going to find it. Rosalind, you can finish reading. That's not the one.
Khan, okay, so we just read about the chaste woman loving her husband, embracing him, soothing him, pleasing him, acts as a slave to him, and is obedient to him in all things, except when it would be disobedient to Yahweh. So as long as he's not straying you the wrong way, you are to do all those things. So the next part, 17. These Roman numerals. I don't know. I think that's 17. Foolish, therefore, is every husband who separates his wife from the fear of Yahweh. For she who does not fear Yahweh is not afraid of her husband. If she fear not Yahweh, who sees what is invisible? How will she be chaste in her unseen choice? And how will she be chaste who does not come to the assembly to hear chaste making words? And how could she obtain admonition? And how will she be chaste without watchmen? If she be not informed in regard to the coming judgment of Yahweh, and if she be not fully assured that eternal punishment is the penalty for the slight pleasure, wherefore, on the other hand, compel her even against her will always to come to hear the chaste making word, yea, coax her to do so. So, it's bad if a husband, I don't know if I'm saying this right, and you guys might have a different word for it, but like, it's not okay for a husband to steer the woman away from Yahweh. And wherefore, on the other hand, compel her against her will always to come here chase. So he needs to push her towards Yahweh, not take her away. So like for me, I just think about like maybe if a couple is going through it and the woman just can't take it anymore, It would be wise for the man to remember that the woman is the weaker vessel so that she doesn't stray away from fearing the Most High and then end up doing things that are going to make her sin.
Well, there's other examples too. Well, other examples too where men could, like a woman, she wants to teach. She want to go and teach other females. She want to open up a school. And he said, I don't want you to be out there teaching anybody at the, la 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 la. And to me, that's straying away from the Most High too as well.
From the Most High. Because
she wants more, and he didn't want her to do any more than what I want you to take care of the family, feed, and if you taking time out of my hand to go teach so many bellious girls and blah blah blah. So that's nuts. There's a man who's selfish. Oh, I thought the scripture, by the way, of the young lady I was talking about. Well, the young lady became an old lady. It's the second Luke 2, chapter 2, verse 34. And Simon blessed them and said unto Mary, Mother, behold, the child is set for the fall and rising again of many of Israel, and for a sign which shall be spoken again. Yea, a sword shall pierce through my own soul also, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. And there was one, and a prophetess, daughter of the tribe of Asher. She was the great age. She had lived with a husband for 7 years from her virginity, from 7 years. She was a virgin when she married him, and she was with him for only 7 years. She was a widow for about 64 years. That's what, 64 years. She was a virgin. She was a widow. Which she departed not from the temple. She stayed in the temple and served Yahweh and fast since her husband passed away. So she was a virgin. So she was probably what, 15 when she married him? Let's say 15. I get the right age one day because I'm going to look it up. So it's 15 when she married. She was a virgin. She's living for 7 years. He died. She went to the temple, lived in the temple and fast and lived there for 64 years. Now tell me that's not chaste. That's chaste. She had no man touch her. She had no man go after her. No, she looked upon no man looked upon her. Because if he did, she would have.
That's chaste. Also, like, to me, that also like proves the love that she had for her husband. Like, I loved him so much, I don't want to be with nobody else. You know?
Yeah, kind of. She ended up living in the temple to keep herself from being. She lived in the temple. She stayed in the temple and fasted there. So I think that helped her also. Yahweh, being like focused on Yahweh, like everybody should be focused on Yahweh. I think that helps a lot with chastity. I think that really do. Like I told you in the choir, like the choir told her to not. Read the Bible, do more. There's storybooks. Like I got the book of I just got the book of Jasher. There's some stories in there. She can read that. I mean, stay focused, stay in one thing. I mean, help with chastity. She stayed until, and then she prayed night and day. And she coming in that instant gave thanks likewise unto Yahweh and spake of him to all things that looked for redemption in Jerusalem. And when they had performed, now she did this because, of course, everybody wants redemption in Jerusalem. At this time, it was going through heck. And everybody waiting for this king to come, which is Yahawashi. Yahawashi gets there, he goes into the temple. This is when she meets Yahawashi. And when they performed all things according to the law of Yahweh, they returned unto Galilee to their own city, Nazareth. So they did baptized on Yahawashi at this time. So she, of course, I'm going to look this up again, and I'm looking up in Play with Josephus and see if I can find the story of Anne. But I think that she was beastie. She did a perfect example of a widow that was young and was a widow for 64 years and stayed chaste to herself and stayed with Yahweh and prayed and fasted at night and day until Yahushua came. That's chaste. That was one definition of chaste. I'm pretty sure there's thousands more of a chaste woman out there who focused on Yahweh and Yahushua. But that was one of them that I had to share with y'all.
And where was that at?
That was in Luke 2. I started at 34 down to 38.
Luke. Oh, hold on. I was just going to put it in here. And I just want everybody to know, if you weren't on the first video, when I'm responding over here, it's coming up as Isaiah. Some of them are really Isaiah. Some of them are me. And it's also coming up as I Tell Knowledge. So if you see it say Shalom like 20 times, it's because I'm like 4 people right now. So you said it's Luke.
Chapter 2, start at verse 34, 38.
34.
Can I throw one in there right quick?
Come on.
It's just pertaining to what we talking about. It's Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh shame is a rottenness in his bones.
Con, when I think about being chaste and chastity and everything, I think of you could probably pull in every single woman scripture to fit in this discussion. You could probably pull up every single one of them, and you'll
because it either tells you how to be or not to be.
Yeah, the whole Proverbs 31 is one of them.
And Sirach, you got Sirach 25 and 26, all of that. You know, the righteous versus the wicked. Shalom.
You said chapter 12, verse what?
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 4. And then, you got chapter 14, verse 1 also.
I'm going to read a comment from Facebook. It says, Aquath Wendy said, regarding the chaste woman, can you imagine how fulfilled the sister's life was? I mean, she was totally blessed. You know, she lived such a chaste life. It says it in the reading. You know, can't nobody touch her. Ain't nobody gonna mess with her. You know, so I mean, when you think about it, I mean, we all want to be like that. That's just like striving to be that P31 woman. So now you throw that chaste in there. So being that Proverbs 31 woman, mix it with some chastity and being chaste. Yeah,
it's not hard to be faithful.
Be blessed.
It's just not though.
You said to be faithful.
Yeah, it's not hard to be.
It's not hard to be faithful at all. But being chaste comes with more things than just being faithful.
Well, yeah, I understand that. What I'm saying though, like just being a woman of not having that cheating spirit. Like I know women that are as bad as men. And just not having that spirit on you, just sit down somewhere and just be.
But okay, take off the
yeah, it's more than just that. Like
I understand what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. I was just saying a more simpler term
part of it. But there's so much more to being chaste. Like there's like you can think of the fruits of the spirit that runs in with chaste. Like because you gotta be long suffering. You gotta be humble. Look,
I was just saying something simpler as far as
joy, love, peace, patience. You gotta be all of that. Like when you have all of that, then being chaste would not seem like to be an issue. Now I feel like because we were of the world before, there are some things that you have to totally let go. And just because you've been in the truth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 years, sometimes there could still be something deep down in there. But when you fear Yahweh, and that's where everything starts at right there, that fear of Yahweh.
That's what I'm saying.
So if you fear Yahweh, you're going to try your best to do everything that you're supposed to do so you can remain
Well, for a woman who is striving for that, who is striving to be a chaste woman, if some women just need to start with just sitting down and being still and peaceful, and then just working your way towards that, because it. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easy. Like it's not as hard as people make it out to be.
Like, it's easy for us to say it's easy because we know what type of lifestyle we already live. So what's easy for one is not always easy for another, and that's why we have to build up everyone. So yeah, it's easy, but I mean, it comes in different forms, different levels. And it also depends on if you have a head. Usually, if you have a head, you're going to be more likely to do the things that you're supposed to do. If you don't have a head, then you want to get with some women that are like-minded, like where you want to be already, so you can get there. I'm gonna read some more comments off of Akwath Wendy said, that's what I aspire to be: quiet, virtuous, disciplined, and delivered. Hallelujah. Being quiet for us Israelite women sometimes is hard.
Yeah, that's something I did have to work on. I did have to learn how to keep, like, not speak on everything.
Yeah.
Or not react in a violent, not, well, I won't say violent, but in a,
the same look that you gave that man that might have been trying to holler at you and you married is the same look that you might want to give your head at times when he's saying something that you don't agree with. So being able to stop doing that is hard too. And I know we all been there. I know I have. You just have to remind yourself,
I was one of them people that you might not know. I mean, I know I still have to work on it on some days. Some days it's hard, but I was really bad with some, with not knowing what was going to come out my mouth next. So, and I had to work on that, especially with, being in certain situations, and learn how to, turn that on and off, and then learn how to turn it off. You could be comfortable in certain situations, but not everything needs to be said, or not everything. It's not always what you say, is how you say it. I had to learn that too.
Because you can get your point across in a nice, humble way.
Without screaming and yelling and cursing.
Yeah. Another comment, Akwath Wendy said, how is that easy? She was talking about the whole being, when you were talking about it's easy. And then she said, no, you right, violent. Let's keep it real. And then Isaiah said violent, and he put some emojis on there. She also said she still she says she still is, but she repents afterwards. But let me tell you. Now let's go out of bed. Thank you. I was talking to my daughter, by the way. Before anybody thinks anything, I said, babe, I was talking to my daughter. So she said, I still am. I repent afterwards, but let me tell you. Now, remember, Aqua, when you repent, that means you're not going to go back and do it again. So remember, you say you repent afterwards. So that means the next time you're going to have to hold it in. Just hold it in. Hold it in, girl. Woosah, breathe. Do some breathing exercises. I can teach you some breathing exercises that I do in my classroom.
Well, you know what works for me? You know what works for me? And I'm going to say this to all the Aswahiyan that are listening. What works for me is not wanting to be that person. And then also not wanting to say evil, mean things that I may regret or really didn't mean at the time. And just because I was upset to someone that I love.
Before you speak. And sometimes it's hard before you speak. It just depends on the situation you're in. It depends on what type of person you are as well. Like, I think you have.
I don't like hurting people I love. I don't like hurting my husband. I don't want to do those things. So that was the biggest thing for me. That was the biggest thing for me was not wanting to do it. So I trained myself not to do it.
There's a scripture for that. There's a scripture, James 3, tells you about how to handle your mouth. Because everybody said, now that's not easy. Everybody can't say that's easy. That's something that takes.
Oh, it's not easy. My mouth used to be super reckless.
And it probably still can be sometimes. It just depends on who you're talking to. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not with my husband though. That's the thing. That's the point we're coming to.
A well-rounded, chaste woman, then you have to utilize that all the way around. And that's just, I mean, nobody is perfect, so we're all working on it. So the goal is to become the chaste woman that Peter talks about, and you know, and become that P31 woman, so that we can be pleasing to Yahweh. And then when you're pleasing to Yahweh, you're going to be pleasing to your head. And then if you're not married yet, you know, when you still want to practice these things, because when you do become a rib, then you'll have all the tools to make it through every situation.
But it actually starts from home, though. It starts from home with childhood. It's like, if you have a father, that's your head. It starts from that point. The father supposed to raise, well, the daughter supposed to treat her father, the father treat her daughter as he would want a man to treat her. Then that carries on, and it goes on. And like I said, it starts from childhood. It starts from young.
Okay.
So I said it has to be something that's practiced for years. And it takes, like, raising a child in the truth, that's 100% better than raising a child at age 15. And saying, I'm going to put
like we all had to be reprogrammed.
Mm-hmm.
And still being reprogrammed. Because, again, nobody's perfect, so we all mess up. But I do think there is a difference when you bring a child, when you bear a child and you're already in the truth on how you bring them up. So
it's much easier. It's like reclaying, like remolding, but getting a brand new clay versus the clay that was already sitting there forever, turn it into water, remolding it back down and trying to bring it back to the same form. It's gonna be hard. That's gonna be the hardest task.
Okay. Let me see here. Wow, Wendy. Okay, so we are on 18, and it's continued speech from Peter about chastity. Much better is it if you will take her by the hand and come in. So remember, we just got done reading about the man not steering the woman away from the Most High. So now he's saying, much better is it if you take her by the hand and come, in order that you yourself may become chaste. For you will desire to become chaste, that you may experience the full fruition of a holy marriage, and you will not scruple, if you desire it, to become a father, to love your own children, and to be loved by your own children. He who wishes to have a chaste wife is also himself chaste, gives her what is due to a wife, takes his meals with her, keeps company with her, goes with her to the word that makes chaste, does not grieve her, does not rashly quarrel with her, does not make himself hateful to her, furnishes her with all good things he can. And when he has them not, he makes up the deficiency by caresses. The chaste wife does not expect to be caressed, recognizes her husband as the Lord, bears his poverty when he is poor, is hungry with him when he is hungry, travels with him when he travels, consoles him when he is grieved, and if she have a large dowry, is subject to him as if she had nothing at all. But if the husband have a poor wife, let him reckon her chastity a great dowry. The chaste wife is temperate in her eating and drinking, in order that the weariness of the body, thus pampered, I just had a thought go through my head, so like that, may not drag the soul down to unlawful desires. Moreover, she never assuredly remains alone with young men, and she suspects the old. She turns away from disorderly laughter gives herself up to Yahweh alone. She is not led astray. She delights in listening to holy words, but turns away from those which are not spoken to produce chastity. That's a lot.
That was a whole.
Hold on one second. Akwath Wendy, which scripture are you talking about? Right now, we're reading from the book of, we're reading from Clementine Homilies, and I can post a link in a moment that will get you to it. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go.
Now, that was a wonderful example for both men and women. He gave how to be chastity, how to make a better marriage, better relationship.
Yeah, because I mean, and it says like the man has to be chaste too, not just the woman. So you can't be dealing with a jacked up dude and think that y'all gonna be okay. Yeah. So I mean, if he's a man of the Most High, he should be doing all those things. And when he doesn't have, like, if he doesn't have, then it says, you know, soothe her. I mean, you know, caress her. I've never been materialistic, so. Oh, I was told to read it again, so let me read it again when I find it again. But I've never been materialistic, so that I'd rather have like cuddling and things and spending time, like time versus monetary things. So
I go shopping for myself. I just want time and to be appreciated and loved. I think that's what most people want though in a relationship. And if it's not, if you're in it for something else, then you know that's not to me a relationship.
Okay, after I read all of that was read, it said the chaste wife does not expect to be caressed. You recognize her husband.
Well, that means like to me, where it says like she does not expect it, like that means like to me that means like I don't expect it. Like that don't mean like you have to do it. Like you didn't hold me last night. You didn't hold me last night. Why you didn't hold me last night?
So I'm not. See, but to me, that's just because you didn't hold me last night, then I'm not going to do this, and this. She still needs to be that woman, regardless of what he does.
She's not holding against him. She's not going to hold. That's what she does. That's what that pretty much. That's what I'm looking at what Rosh wants to say too. She's not holding it against him. So she's not recognizing. A correct woman don't recognize. I mean, she's not going to acknowledge it. If she gets it, she gets it. If she gets the love, she gets the caress. But she's not going to be looking for like. And then she still, like you said, she still does her, like you said, her wifely duty. She still does her, you know, she still calls him the Lord. Are you reading the whole thing again?
I'm gonna read that one over again.
There's movement behind you. Oh, he laid back down.
His mama here now.
Oh, but she can handle that.
You about to leave? Oh shoot, girl. I'm gonna read it.
Oh shoot, girl.
Much better is it if you will take her by the hand and come, in order that yourself may become chaste. For you will desire to become chaste, that you may experience the full fruition of a holy marriage. And you will not scruple, if you desire it, to become a father, to love your own children, and to be loved by your own children. So to me, you become chaste with her, and then in that your marriage will be greater, and then you'll be a father, you'll be a better father, your children will love you, you will love your children.
Everybody love you all the way around. You be loved.
He who wishes to have a chaste wife is also himself chaste, gives her what is due to a wife, takes his meals with her, keeps company with her, goes with her to the word that makes chaste, does not grieve her, does not rashly quarrel with her, does not make himself hateful to her. So he's spending time with her, he's eating with her, he's reading and studying with her. He's not arguing with her like in a very hateful way. And
thing.
Right. And he's not hateful towards her. Furnishes her with all the good things he can, and when he has them not, he makes up the deficiency by caresses. The chaste wife does not expect to be caressed, recognizes her husband as her Lord, bears his poverty when he is poor, is hungry with him when he is hungry, travels with him when he travels, consoles him when he is grieved, and if she have a large dowry, is subject to him as she had nothing at all. But if the husband have a poor wife, let him reckon her chastity a great dowry. The chaste wife is temperate in her eating and drinking, in order that weariness of the body, thus pampered, may not drag the soul down to unlawful desires. Moreover, she is never assuredly remains alone with young men, and she suspects the old. She turns away from disorderly laughter, gives herself up to Yahweh alone. She is not led astray. She delights in listening to holy words, but turns away from those which are not spoken to produce chastity. Hold on one second. Hey, Journey, can you bring up a... You think he'll need another bottle? Huh? Yeah, bring me another bottle, because that's a lot of steps. Just in case. my mama got like 18,000 steps, and in the middle of the night, that's a lot. So, okay, so I'm going to read what Isaiah is writing. So there's no domestic violence. There's no verbal abuse. No thundercats. No cat daddies.
That's funny.
What's up? All I know is Thundercats. Thundercats. Oh, that's all I know. So what does Thundercats mean? I don't know.
That's all he said was no Thundercats?
Yeah, Karen. Thundercats. Does that mean like young boys?
Old school. If I don't know if it's old school or I don't know.
Cat daddies is the old man. I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
No men of any age. If you're married.
Yeah, and then you want to make sure, again, like for me, it's just like be around like-minded people. If you're around
I agree.
like-minded people, even if like couples, if you're around, that's what I thought. No young ones, no young Thundercats. If you're around couples that are like-minded, then it's just better all around, because the men will be, talking about righteous things, or, just chilling, and the women will be the same way. And then
influence each other to be righteous and to treat one another. Like, oh yeah, if another man goes and by, well, I don't think men follow what other men do. Some men don't, but when they sit around talk about how another woman see how the other marriage is, that's the comparison. Never mind. Yeah, that's comparison. Like a woman look at another marriage and say, "Oh, she treat her husband like freshly angel, like freshly cut flowers."
Wrong. That's wrong. Yeah, I know what you're saying, and that's wrong, because don't go based off of how somebody else is doing what they're doing.
Well, that's another thing that is learned too, I think, because like that's something else you have to change, because comparison is very easy to do.
I'm not in competition with anyone.
Not so much being jealous.
It's not
just
jealousy.
like, I mean, like somebody can be like, "Oh, she got that blue hat. Why I didn't get the blue hat? I like the blue hat. I had to get the red hat. Why I get the red hat? Like that's that's
you might not even look good in the blue hat though. See, that's what people need to just sit down and just think sometimes. Just you don't need to do what everybody else is doing. You don't need to be like everybody else. You just need to do what you know is right, how it tells you to do.
But that's not. But that's different kind of thing. That's what you saying is totally different. I was like, not
I'm talking
saying
about
that,
anything in any aspect of life, and especially being a married woman. You can't. You gotta. I don't know. Maybe I'm explaining it wrong.
I mean, like we all know that we shouldn't, but reality is it happens. But after reading the chaste man, if that man is doing all of that, like say if you're in a polygynous relationship, if that man is doing all of that to every rib, then there wouldn't be any comparison. So if you're going to keep,
but I'm also,
I know he keep rolling too. He's rolling all over the bed, y'all.
As a rib though, I have to say that I'm not in competition with anybody. Also, see people.
I'm not in competition. If I was a rib or not a rib, I'm not ever in competition.
With anybody, but that's what I'm saying. Like what you just said before, it's like.
But that competition,
people get caught up in comparisons. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just minding their own lane.
It's not the same though. Competition and comparison is not the same to me.
Yeah, it's not. And not my makers miss.
Yeah.
No, right. It's not. Because I'm a very competitive person, but not based off of comparison. Because I will, especially if there's a
why does it keep kicking her out like that?
I don't know. It might be her house. It might be the
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Isaiah said comparison is the spirit of envy and emulation. It is a work of the flesh, not the fruit of the spirit. God,
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I don't know. I see things different. Comparison and competition is not the same to me at all. So, but I think we were only supposed to read till.
What I was kind of saying was I'm not in competition with anybody because I don't compare myself. That's where I was trying to link it up. But I don't compare myself to anybody.
It's not okay. So like in a polygynous type setting, I don't think it's like comparing myself to you. It's comparing what is being like. I've seen people compare what is being done.
You saying the treatment.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is I want to stick to this script. So if the chaste man is supposed to be doing all of this, that chaste man, that more than one rib, that chaste man to every rib, and then that knocks out comparison, period.
God. I can agree with that.
So that, I don't want to get into all that. That's probably like a conversation between just us, but let me see if there's anything else on here.
That was just my opinion. That's not,
Yeah.
Anything.
But again, staying on that chaste, because that's going into a whole nother class.
Probably. Yeah, you're right.
So staying on the chaste thing, let's see. Was that 18?
That you just did?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you finished it? 18?
Con. So 19 is the last, is the end of your speech. Let's go ahead and read that and refocus. Get that out of here. Somebody might need to mute. You know what? It might be me.
I'm a mute.
He said there's a whole bunch of there. Well, he didn't say a whole bunch. He just said background noise. Is that better?
You just sound like a robot now. Just say something again.
Is that better?
Yeah, there it is. You good now? Yeah.
Okay. So this is the end of Peter's speech about chastity. Yahweh is my witness. One adultery is as bad as many murders. And what is terrible in it is this, that the fearfulness and empathy of its murders are not seen. For when blood is shed, the dead body remains lying, and all are struck by the terrible nature of the occurrence. But the murders of the soul caused by adultery, though they are more frightful, yet since they are not seen by men, do not make the daring a whit less eager in their impulse. Know, O man, whose breath it is that you have to keep you in life, and you shall not wish that it be polluted. By adultery alone is the breath of Yahweh polluted, and therefore it drags him who is polluted into the fire, for it hastens to deliver up its insulter to everlasting punishment. And that is the end of Peter's speech on chastity. Y'all can unmute now.
That was. It is, well, adultery is put to death. That is like the number one sin, adultery. Number one. Oh yeah. Speaking of adultery, 1 Corinthians 18 and 20 talks about adultery, adulterous woman not being chaste. That's it. And flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. What now? What? Now ye not that your body is a temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have ahch, and ye are not your own, for ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify Yahweh in your body and in your spirit, which is ahch. So pretty much when you commit fornication, you're not people do things out of anger and out of despite, but they're not doing nothing to harm their own self when they do something. I know a lot of people that are like, I'm going to commit adultery, so I gotta get out this marriage. You done crazy yourself,
and you make yourself look stupid in the process.
You harmed yourself. Yeah, salvation is gone. Now you got to look at judgment with Yahweh. You know.
Isaiah said adultery kills the soul. Emulation. Oh, let me look up emulation. And he said, also adultery is as bad as many murders. And that's what it said on there. Emulation, effort to match or surpass a person or achievement, typically by imitation. Ambition or endeavor to equal or excel others as an achievement. Imitation, the use of or technique of using a calculator. Oh, we don't need that definition. Ambitious or envious rivalry. So yeah. So yeah, I guess that would be emulation. So emulation would probably be like the same as comparison. Okay. Anybody got anything else? Anything else?
We still got to read 1 Corinthians 13. Right?
I was just about to say that.
I thought I read that first.
She she started on the Clementine.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
Am I reading this? I'm doing the whole chapter.
Hold on. I have to look up.
It's chapter.
Hold on a second. I gotta look up one more word. Envy. A feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. Desire to have a quality, possession, or other desirable attribute belonging to someone else. Jealousy. Jealous. I want what you got. Envy. I want what you got. Okay.
So am I reading the whole chapter?
It's only 13 verses.
Come on.
Oh yeah, read it all.
Yeah.
All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains and have no charity, I am nothing. Verse 3, and though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profits me nothing. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not behave itself unseemly, seek not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Verse 7, beareth all things, believe all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Verse 8, charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is part shall be done away. Verse 11, when I was a child, I speak as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. Last verse 13. And now abideth faith, hope, charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity.
Well, charity, like you said, without charity, you can know all the knowledge and all everything in the world. You have to put noise because you don't have charity with it. You just make a noise at this point. So you don't have charity. Charity, I have a definition of charity. Affection without affection and all the laws and everything that you have is nothing but noise making. So without goodwill, without love, without brotherly love, of love fest, without that, everything else is just noise, pretty much. And you gotta be true charity, not just some charity, just regular love. It gotta be true love.
Kind. I mean, love is an easy word to say, but it's different actions. It's the action that goes with the word.
Man, there's no real love without sacrifice. That's what people tend to remember.
I mean, you could sacrifice without meaning. Well, okay.
Sacrifice doesn't have to be bad. It just.
I mean, explain to me what you mean by sacrifice, though.
I mean,
like, what you mean by there's no real love without sacrifice?
Because somebody can say they love you all day, like, oh yeah, I love you, and I'm down for you, and I'll do this and this, and then you like, okay, it's time for sacrifice. I need this, and this done, and then it's like,
but that's
I didn't mean that, but that's not unconditional. If that's not what you meant, real love has sacrifice and is unconditional. That's my opinion.
I mean, I guess it just depends on what you have to sacrifice. I mean, I don't feel like
there's always something that you don't want to do that you do for someone that you love. That's just
there's always something you don't want to do.
It might be extreme. It might be a real sacrifice, and it might not be so, extreme. But at the end of the day,
I have real love I have real love for my head, and there are some sacrifices that I haven't made, but that doesn't change my love for him. So for me,
no, I'm not saying if you don't. I'm just saying that it don't get real until you have to. You really don't know that you love somebody until you make a sacrifice or do something for them that you wouldn't do for anybody else, or that you might not even do for yourself.
Okay, there's difference between fracturation and love too.
I agree with that.
So, yeah. What was that?
But it's like, I don't know, man. It's like sometimes people just don't get it what love really means. Like I said, there's sacrifices. You have to do sacrifices if you really truly love someone. And then on top of your sacrifice, it still needs to be unconditional. And people don't. I just don't think. I don't feel like a lot of women get that. I don't feel like a lot of men get that. But as far as me being a woman, I've seen a lot of women. I've been witness to a lot of women that, they think it's just supposed to be about them. And that I've heard women say that if their man didn't argue back with them or if he didn't hit them, that he didn't love them. Like it could get really deep, man.
Well, that was just an abused woman at some point in her life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. You don't need to hit me to show me you love me. So I know that. I'm just saying I've seen, situations like that. All I'm saying is that sacrifice is real and unconditional love is real, and they both go hand in hand.
See, I don't think so. But
me neither.
That's my opinion. I don't think. I don't know if sacrifice is the right. I think I know what you're saying. I just don't think the wording is right. But I think I understand what you're saying. I don't think I would use the word sacrifice because I do think that there are things that you have to do. That's why I said the action goes with the word. Like you just can't say it. There's an action that's behind it that makes it meaningful. That makes it unconditional. So, like, I don't have to give up something to prove. I don't think
you might not always have to give up something. You might just have to do something.
That's what you just said, though. Sacrifice.
No, I was saying, but you might not have to give up anything. You might have to. I don't know. It's a lot of not definitions, but there's a lot of levels of sacrifice. You might have to give up something, or you might not have to give up something. You might have to leave something, or leave someone, or you might have to just do something that you don't want to do. But even though you don't want to do it, doesn't make it not right.
But that doesn't. Even if you don't do it, even if you don't sacrifice, that doesn't change the love you have for the person. And it might show like, yeah, I really love you. I'm showing you that I love you. This is the action behind it. So I'm showing you.
But some people aren't willing to sacrifice.
That doesn't mean that I don't love you any less.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't mean
it's about being selfless too.
That's not. I don't even think that's being selfless or selfish. I think that everybody is in a different phase in their life, so there might be a reason why you might not be able to make. I just don't think it goes with.
Me neither.
matches with. I think
That's
I'm.
cool.
Like I said,
Our
I think I
understandings
know
are
what you're
different.
saying, but I don't think that's the right. For me, it's not the right wording. So it's making it sound like I'm arguing with you. I'm not arguing with you. I get what you're saying, but I just don't think I would. Like, for example, just because I'm not where he is now doesn't mean that I love him any less. It doesn't mean that my love is not unconditional. So I haven't made the sacrifice. I look like Zakaria. Sacrifice to move there yet, because I have to put other things into play to get where he is. So it doesn't mean I love him any less, and it doesn't mean that I haven't proven my love to you, and it doesn't mean that my love is not unconditional. I didn't sacrifice whatever I got going on here. It's just things have to be in order, certain order, before I just go. Even though we just read that the woman is supposed to be there and follow and all that stuff. For me, there's things that I feel like have to be in place before I take that step. So, yeah. So I get what you're saying. I just think the wording is right for me, but I get what you're saying.
Well, I hope I explained it right, so everybody else got what I was saying. Different minds that think different.
Yeah, and I'm a very different thinker. I think a little bit too much sometimes.
Yeah, I just try to. Me being a human being, I know I'm gonna be judgmental, so I just try to be fair in my judgment. I just try to think of both sides when I. I mean,
I do that too. Like, I always try to see it from both views. His view, my view.
Either you've been in that situation before, or you need to be understanding because you don't know what that person went through to come out of that, in or out of that situation. I just think that humbling yourself and being unconditional in your realness and your what's the word I'm looking for? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Just, I don't know. Try to be the woman that we're speaking of. It can be hard. It is hard, but it's also easy.
Anything else? Anybody?
I was gonna give an example of sacrifice. Okay, say for example, I'm gonna give work. Like, say you're at your job and they tell you to come do this overtime. Now, of course, there's money involved. So what is it? You love money or you love the job?
I'm not getting up for no job to go to work for anybody for free.
So it's money. So you work over and over and over. That's sacrifice. You sacrifice from your family to go do this extra job to get this extra money, right? So would you call that love? For which behalf? Would you love more, your family or your job? I mean,
I love my family, which is why I'm working my job.
But your family loves you more, so you sacrificing yourself to work to do this stuff. But the family don't look at it that way. The kids looking at it like, oh, she's working every day. I never see my mother. So I said, a lot of times sacrifice is not the same. When you do sacrifices, some sacrifices damage parts. So
I understand what you're saying.
That's why I said I can't go with sacrifice, because that word is thrown around and it's not the same.
I think that's what Elijah was saying.
Everybody makes them every day, though.
Like, there's different levels of sacrifice.
That's what I was saying. There's different. There's definitely different levels.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure I understand what you're saying. I just don't know if sacrifice is a good word to put in the sentence.
I think it was the perfect word because we're speaking to other women, and sometimes women don't get. Well, in the sense of a relationship and being, you know, being in a marriage, they don't get that sacrifice is necessary.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say what I know your favorite thing is, but I know what your favorite thing is. So
me?
I know what your favorite thing is. Your number one thing. Are you willing to sacrifice that for love, true love?
Without the quotation marks, Con.
So if right now, after this recording,
it would be hard. It would be one of the hardest things I ever did. I'm not gonna sit here and front cap none of that. Like, it wouldn't be hard. I wouldn't get irritated, frustrated. I wouldn't even relapse to it. But for the love of my personal situation, absolutely, I would. I wouldn't like it, but I would.
Put like this: well, everybody that love their husband and their spouses, the same thing, a male and female, they're allowed to do things that makes that spouse, the man and that woman, happy. So sacrificing, if that's what you call it, sacrifice, I believe that kind of sacrificing is believed in to make both parties happy. You can't just one sacrifice for one and the other party's unleveled. Both.
There's got to be a compromise somewhere.
Yes, that's what it is. They can't just one part just do all of it, another person just, and it's getting heavier and heavier doing all the stuff with that person, while the other person's not doing their part. So I take one, you take one. I take one, you take one. It's a barrier. You can't just keep taking one and giving out and dishing it out because you're this kind of a person or you're this level and you're the boss and now I ain't got to do anything that you asked me to do, but you're going to do anything I actually do. It becomes an unleveled relationship. The love becomes unleveled and you become like, man, I'm mad now because it's not feeling equity in this.
Well, and again, circling back around to the chase, if the man and the woman are both chaste, then probably would never run into them. And that's why the woman has to strive to be a chaste woman. And now we have read that the man has to also strive to be the chaste woman. So there is hope out there for couples that are going through it or women that are looking, men and women that are looking for a spouse. If you possess these qualities and you know them and you practice them, then you will build a better marriage. If you're already married, you will start doing these things, or you will come into a better marriage. I feel like we was getting off track, so I needed to bring it back around to.
No, it's the same thing as pretty much because like you said, it's about chastity. And charity is love. With charity comes chastity. You have to know how to do charity. You have to, and it tells the men how to do their part, and the women to do their part. Right. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's that we have to. Both parties got to do it. Both marriages got to do it. Like you said, and if a woman coming into a marriage, a virgin herself has to learn this. Because this is going to be the first and only choice she makes. Once she makes that choice, that's the final last. So she's got to learn how to do charity. She's going to have to be the P31. She's going to have to be Clementine. She's going to have to make sure that she is charity. Define that into her brain to know exactly what charity is. Not just love, but the whole thing of goodwill, behavior, just affection. She has to know all of that. Order to have a great marriage, and she humble. Has to be all that stuff.
Humble, long suffering, all them fruits of the spirits. P31, like all of that makes you build you into being a chaste woman.
Because all marriages are gonna have the ups and downs. They're gonna have that tear in it. Every marriage is gonna have a tear in it. It takes I'm gonna say it's gonna take the woman to mend that tear, to make sure that tear don't get any bigger.
Cool. All right. I don't see any more questions. I hope the Aguas Wendy got the link. I posted it on Facebook, but when I went on Facebook, I did not see your For some reason, I didn't see her her post, but I see it on here. So I tried to post, but it was Clementine Homilies, chapter 13 through 19, and 1 Corinthians 13. So again, this was for the women, not for men. So if you're a man and you have questions or whatever, direct them to Isaiah Yasharahla. If you're a woman, you can contact any of us, myself, Rashwan, Irab, Amath, Bademian, Kanai Wakanawan, or Elijah by Yasharahla. All can be found on Facebook. And I think that is it. Oh, I see a little baby waking up.
I'm about to say, you got movement, cuz.
A lot of movement. Okay. So I think that is it. So I hope everybody had a wonderful Shabbat. It's time to rest. And I'm sure we'll be doing more stuff like this. Or, you know, if any women have any ideas or want to come on, just let us know.
Or anything you want to hear about, or you know, want us to speak on, or anything like that.
So we shalom to everybody. How was Shamar Lathon?
Now Shamar
Sleep.
Me too. Shalom.
Shalom.
Got to go to the plantation in the morning and do charity with other people. Love everybody.
I'm gonna get up and eat eggs.
I'm gonna be up in a couple hours with that one right there.
Oh, he's still good. Oh, there you go. He up now.
This Gigi's going to sleep.
Shalom, y'all.
Shalom, mama. Good night, mama.
All right. I'm not grandma. I am Gigi. Goodbye. Shalom. That's why I'm clicking you off.